Tried to ask you like 4 times.
Yeah.
Judge the audio.
Yeah. Yo, so we're going to have to play that again because the mic wasn't even on. That's crazy. And I'm going to check right here. Let's see.
Check 1, 2.
Yeah, Mar, we're going to have to play that. Run that back right quick.
Okay, yeah, I fucking gotta change it. What was the last one we did, Club?
Whatever was recent.
Tried to ask you like 4 times.
Yeah.
Judge the audio.
Yeah. Yo, so we're going to have to play that again because the mic wasn't even on. That's crazy. And I'm going to check right here.
Well, I'll play the first
Let's see.
one. I'll play the first one first.
Yeah, Mar, we're going to have to play. This is the first one we got that we did before this track. So now we can listen to.
Juicy lips matching the candy paint, killing why they speculate. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Baby, this your time to celebrate. Big yourself up in every way. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Jameson on rocks, till my styrofoam cup, baby, like the block. One microphone up, body twisted with a sundress. Undressed when I fuck it. Single for the summer, I'm the interest at best, just to keep it 100. Got me bricked up, wish you dance a bombing. Now we flicked up, posting Instagram stories. Forget her in the morning, kill a kitty at the morning. Baby got you pissed.
Juicy lips matching the candy paint, killing why they speculate. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Baby, this your time to celebrate. Big yourself up in every way. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Everybody do bad, I ain't do no better. They say she only running game, but I've been a player. In this game, I'm number 1, not a runner-up. Yeah, she got a couple miles, but ain't running up. Well, do you baby so foul, no flagrant. In this club, I've been on the hunt like an agent. So hot, pepper in the eyes, no Mason. No stop, keep on going fast, no breaking.
Juicy lips matching the candy paint, killing why they speculate. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Baby, this your time to celebrate. Pick yourself up in every way. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
What that sound like? What type of vibe that sound like, man? Cause you know we cooking. Sure, Chef, sure we cooking, but what that sound like? What that taste like?
Banger after banger.
Should we release that at the end of the week too? I mean, you know, I get to the final mix tomorrow. Master that tomorrow. Release that at the end of the week. Strong, if like. You know, all you gotta do is press play, baby. That's all you gotta do. Press play. You know?
And find all of Resurrection on share.stream, a new platform in which the world hasn't seen yet, the world hasn't heard of yet, which Resurrection plans on absolutely running. We, RZX, not me, D1, RZX, is going to change the game with this platform.
Yes, sir.
No more a millionth of a penny for your stream. No more giving your artist money for streaming the song and you make nothing. No more of that. We're taking ownership back home with us here at RZX. That's our game plan with all of these bangers, beats made in-house. Whether it's by our fantastic producers, Boombastic or No Love Matt, with our fantastic artists, whether it's ZREM/T.ReMMeDY, Marlon, Jerome, D1, GIF, For Love Only, Low Mel, No Love Matt, the list never ends.
Let's go.
Cirque,
Zoo.
whoever it may be, we're taking this back home and we're doing away with that nonsense, which is giving you
Remarks. Shout out remarks.
Which is giving you 0.0000007th of a penny.
A fraction.
And shout out to my boy City Son too.
Son!
We're bringing this back home, direct to consumers, from artist to consumer right away, and you get to win with us. And that's what we're promoting here at RZX. Our fans win as well as we do. And cheers to that.
Straight up. That, you know what I mean? Every day in, day out, we just co-creating, master manifesting. You know what I mean? It ain't really nothing to it. It's about simplicity. You know what I mean? You want to keep everything smooth sailing. It's all about being on the high frequency. Remove yourself from, you know what I mean, the low vibration. God is love. God is the greatest. I am the best. Speaking of that, playlist 2 is should be releasing tomorrow. I mean, Resurrection, Zen Rem. You know what I mean? On Zen Zen. Not of this world. Well, we got another song. Is that the other song?
Yeah.
We got another track. Let's show you what our references, what we've been doing for the night, man. Off that Jameson. This for the Rolling Loud crowd.
Yeah. You can do it all, but it's gonna be enough. Stop there, baby, we gon' blow it up. Time and time again. Show them what the world gotta think of.
Kill all your fucking ego. What are you really into? Let the drive become your hero. I'll say it once again. It's about new beginnings, my friend. Not awkward endings pretend. Like wasting time is a trend. Just be relentless. Know who your friends is. They're supposed to lead when it's tough, but when shit's about lead.
You can do it all, but it's still be enough. Don't stop there, baby, we gon' blow it up. Time and time again. Show them what the world gotta think of.
Work till I'm dead, only living for my friends. All this weight on my shoulders, I can feel it in my chest. When I talk about this life, I won't do it with regret. I'm just hoping Jesus Christ sees the same way that I did. He know that it won't be perfect, but he died for my sin. Every way this life could hit me, it ain't landed on my chin.
Very nice, very nice.
And cheers to that.
And cheers to that. You know, we could have a conversation. If anything, we just had some few tracks going. So let me just put this bad boy right here. No Diddy.
That's how you had it when you were in the session.
No, I had it right here. Or I had it right there. But I want to put it somewhere so we could just chop it up. You feel me? So more, if you make your way to this couch.
That's what you tried to tell me.
Huh?
That's what you tried to tell me, low key. I didn't pay attention.
Yeah. I got the right side. You can get the left.
What a beautiful sight this is.
Niggas.
I got a cold bottle. You know what I mean? And I got some Nutella cookies for those who like to munch. Shout out to my boss. He gave me this Nutella biscuit cookies. It tastes delicioso.
Muy delicioso.
Muy delicioso. But we coolin', man. I mean, again, it's about being on high frequency. And earlier we are discussing about streaming and podcasts and interviews and the differentiating different conversations and how we can go about it. You know what I mean? And content is content, man. It's about building a brand. It's about showcasing your personality. They want to like log into your individuality. They want to like feel you. They want to see where you're at in life, your mind frame, your walk of life, all that shit. You know what I mean? And again, we're co-creators. We're artists to the T. But we don't have to be content creators. Shout out to Lecrae. He explained it very beautifully, like recently, like 2 days ago, whatever. But he's absolutely right. You don't gotta like conform to co-creating content. You feel me? You can stick to what you truly love and your passion. Which if you like creating music, writing songs, like putting stuff together and like mixing, stick to that. But what will benefit for you to move up in life is having some type of content. And Cloud Lounge ReMM is just one of that. Right now we streaming, man. I'm on my YouTube. I had that YouTube since 2011. So now we just activated right now to get on that wave that we're in right now in 2026. Having yes. Feel me?
Having yes. State your name, player. So, what do you guys think is the difference between a podcast and an interview? What differentiates? Because we have a lot of podcasts that turn out to be interviews. And we have a lot of interviews that turn out to be
I think podcasts are just media. And it's anything you want to talk about. Whether, like we mentioned about Joe Rogan, having high intellectual conversations with different people from different walks of life. To a Breakfast Club where they're interview based. And then they start just talking about stuff that's relatable.
I think podcast is just a platform so you could just see the visuals and have a media. You know what I mean? Like, you know what a recording studio is. You're going there to record. You know what you're doing at a podcast. It could be actual like a timeline interview like we did with some of the majority of episodes we did with Cloud Lounge with ReMM. Timeline based just to get like the artists, fans opportunity to know a little bit about them if they haven't been on different platforms. So I look at podcasts as just like a platform just to speak on whatever you want to talk about, whatever you have that you're enlightened by. Feel me? I know a lot of stuff, but I stick to what I know. Mm-hmm. And I only speak on what I know. I won't ever come out the face and talk about shit that I don't be studying or researching on. You know, but it's good to have different people because you guys, you know, you guys enjoy different things of life. Feel me?
Right. Me being a creative, like I was telling you gentlemen earlier, my first instinct when I hear the word interview is like interrogation. It's not, it doesn't sound appealing.
Yeah.
Podcast, I feel like, depending on the genre, it's informational. It could be funny.
Yeah.
It could touch a lot of different things. A podcast could be an interview, but at the same time, I feel like the general idea when you hear podcasts is like information on whatever genre of area the host is in. You feel me? Mm-hmm. If it's music, we kind of have an idea what we're gonna hear. Mm-hmm. If it's murder mystery, we know what we're gonna hear. If it's philosophical, we know what we're gonna hear. Yeah. Inspirational.
Yeah. Yep.
But interview is like, when I hear interview, I think like Angie Marr. I think Hot 97. Sit up there and they just ask you a bunch of questions.
So you said interrogation, but do you think it's bad?
Depends on what you like.
Because how will we not know who we like if we don't hear a little bit about their story? Well, a lot of these interviews is based on, oh yeah, I started at this time. Oh yeah, I grew up around this person doing this, and
right. I feel like if that's depending on everybody, like they say, there's always things about your job you don't like. Everybody, if you're trying to sell yourself, that's part of the job. Yeah. At some point, you're gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not. I feel like it's not gonna make or break you, depending on what your aim is in your journey. Like, if you're trying to be the top of the top, best of the best, you might have to drink that whole bottle.
We done it a little bit,
and me and him finished the vodka bottle too. We're not alcoholics.
You can do that in a podcast though. You can talk about what's your favorite spirit that you be swimming off of. You like vodka. I like whiskey.
Well, I like whiskey.
I also,
but you've been on vodka a lot.
Yeah, because I'm trying to.
I got a runny nose because of vodka, man. Stay away from vodka and fans.
He has a runny nose because he slept in front of a dirty
all day. That fan is dirty too. I was crashed here last night, just working hard, grinding and shit. You know, came to the studio late night.
I also enjoy a nice glass of whiskey every now and then. Yeah, I mean, whiskey has got the flavor aspect that vodka doesn't necessarily have, but vodka has the strength aspect that not every single whiskey has, minus the carbs and the extra weight that comes with it.
Gluten and all that.
Yeah, it don't got none of that stuff. But vodka tastes like pure rubbing alcohol. Comment if y'all agree, man. I know some of y'all watching. Comment. What do you think about? What's your favorite spirit that y'all be swimming off? If y'all swim.
What's your favorite vodka?
What's your favorite vodka? A lot of people are stuck on the Henny because of Tupac, and they don't know how to like be diverse.
Is Henny because of Tupac?
Yeah, who else? Sipping Hennessy for my enemies. Like, who else? They be swimming off of Duke.
Like rap culture did bring Hennessy to
I feel like rap culture in general. It wasn't just him.
But
I feel like I tried Alizé because of Tupac.
Alizé is probably because like T-Pain or Nouveau or whatever.
I tried Alizé because of Tupac.
What did he say that made that?
Something about Alizé.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't remember the exact line. Let me chat GPT.
When I think of a podcast versus an interview, I see the interrogation point because it's a lot of questions to like
super repetitive
one person, and you kind of know where it's going to go, especially if it's part of a specific genre. Like if it's part of a specific genre, you know it's going to follow the cliche, because like if it doesn't, then there's no point in even getting to that level.
You'll say everything is cliche because like you're gonna watch a basketball game, you know what they're gonna do, you know who they're gonna go for and root for. Everything has something that you already know what it is. A podcast with interview based, you know, you have to learn something about them. You feel me? And there's always new fans on different radio stations. Forget podcasts. Podcasts is just to be presented on YouTube or X or whatever other platform that they could have to show media.
Yeah,
Apple Podcast.
I think that the real differentiator, especially with like, you know, real podcasts with special guests, is that an interview, you know, it's going to be all about one person, and the average person isn't that overly invested in the person, rather than they're invested in what it is that they do. So like if you're invested in a musician and you listen to a podcast about them, sure, you may care about where they came from, but after that, what really keeps you locked in besides what they're going to do when they leave the podcast,
Right.
as opposed to where like a regular podcast format gives you an idea of who they are based off of their philosophical points of life.
But you know, in interviews, you touch base with where they're at in life. They'll talk about stories from the past. They'll talk about what they got going on. If they're going on tour, if they're releasing a project, that's what interviews are. Just to get the fans more information, more food for those who could tune in to those who are on the actual, you know what I mean, platform. If you get interviewed about you, like when I interview people, it's to showcase them, put the light on them, share my fans and supporters, and introduce them to them, and vice versa. And it's up to them to use that as content, whether if they're about it or not. I mean, sometimes they just share the link and they're good that way, but people look online for different people they like. Let me see what they got. Oh, they released an interview 2 weeks ago.
That's what I was about to say.
Like it helps. It helps their brand.
I feel like a lot of these interviews don't tell you more information than you can get just by looking at their IG.
Yeah.
If it's an artist I really love.
I disagree because on IG, a lot of people are playing mystery people. People are posting.
Myself included.
I'll say y'all too and a couple of other homies, y'all don't fully engage, and I get it because like some of us come from that era that we don't want to take a lot of pictures. But if we're going with times, you have to engage to a degree. You want to pay attention to your dashboard. You want to see the traffic you're bringing in monthly, because you could get potential money and sponsorships and brands. If not, for me, what am I doing online? Doing my research, following people on different platforms that are like, you know, that brings me information that I never even have to unlearn, so I can learn that they're bringing. Then do my research back at it, or find different ways to monetize. I don't spend my time on the web getting caught up. I spend my time on the web figuring out different ways to get paid. Mm-hmm. And of course, I go on to different podcasts during the days because I have to watch Vlad TV to watch someone talk about when they were locked up for 20 years and how they came up, and their upbringing and what they did after they got out of jail. I got to learn about these rap acts that grew up on from 2000 and where they're at right now, and they established themselves with different shows and cooking shows and all that shit. I gotta still go on ChatGPT and type in information and words that I just learned and learn the definition of shit. But when I'm on these social media platforms, I'm getting money. When I'm releasing my product, I'm aware that my music is just a small portion of what I'm representing when I showcase who I am online. I don't get too involved with showing my personal, because you do want to keep that sacred. I get it. But I don't play the mystery because I've been T.ReMMeDY since 2005 online. You know what I mean? Maybe 2004. I don't know. 2006, I've been on YouTube. We're in 2026.
I was calling you Remedy in 2000.
And I'm still learning every day. But I'm getting paid in different social media accounts that I'm dealing with from learning that. You know, I'm not here just like watching people live and being a spectator. I'm participating in life. So I think that's important. If you're participating in life and you know someone who's doing good with themselves in life, for me, like Cloud Lounge Jerome is a podcast/stream, I'll interview them. Of course, I would love to have a conversation. A lot of times we do have conversations. We branch off different things. You feel me? But I focus on the tree of life. You know what I mean? And the branches is prone to bearing new fruit. And I want to make sure that we get to eat, you know what I mean, new fruit and get enlightened with the tree of life. Feel me? I'm not like dead plants that's being watered. I'm new enriched soil. You know what I mean? Just getting with it, getting poetic with them right quick. Just enrich soil and showing them new shit and passing on the energy and information that I come along with. And I still gotta learn about this media stuff. Right now we're streaming, you know what I mean, and it's on a freaking account that I had since 2011. When I made this account in 2011, bro, it was just to make sure I saved my songs or upload it from an Android.
Right.
That whole year I didn't even have actual phone service. I was using Wi-Fi from McDonald's. But that year I was doing 3 shows a week. 2 open mics and 1 opening for a celebrity. So that's just reminding me, like, this is 2011. I'm uploading music. I remember October, there was 5 weekends. I dropped the CD every Saturday for those 5 Saturdays. That whole year, we're performing 3 times a week. 4 weeks in a month. Come on, 3, 6, 9, 12 times a month. Of course, I was swimming off of beers, scrunching change under the couch, sofas or whatever, getting into how we live, just learning life and understanding and understanding. But, you know, I'm here right now in 2026 having yes to just elaborate on, you know what I mean, the grind. And when it comes to interviews with Cloud and ReMM, that small little glimpse of what they've been through is what I'll appreciate as far as interviews.
To me, I'm to not disagree at all. I'm at the same point right now where you were in 2011, but I see the social media presence thing as like and you know, I'm all open to being wrong, but I see it as mystique sells in a way. And if you know how to operate based off of that mystique, then you know how to sell yourself.
Yeah. I feel like it's
in a way in which major artists do it frequently. And even though, like, the artists that you see every day, like your Drakes or whatever it may be, there's still a selection of artists in which, because of the fact that they're mysterious, it makes them more intriguing. And that's the category I kind of find myself in, because if I put myself out every day, then I give my version of myself for just that day alone, rather than an overall version of myself, which actually applies to the character that I live by every day. And when I sell D1, I'm not only selling D1, I'm selling the person who runs D1, which is me. So, like, I'm not just D1, I'm also the person that I am as myself. I use D1 as an alter ego, in which is intriguing enough for people to listen to what he has to say, even though that actually is me. And I think that is more appealing to an audience that isn't focused on the artist. They're more focused on the art and the person who's creating it. So I see it as a way in which I can be 2 people in one. I can be D1, who's presenting you the message, and my actual self, who is the messenger.
The messenger.
And so I feel like if I put myself online too frequently, that idea dies without evolution of the person. And if evolution as the person always continues, then the message never dies, because evolution continues forever.
Correct.
And you can see that in examples of, like, humans, for example. Like, we weren't just humans randomly one day.
Right.
We came from something which made us the scientific term in which we are. And that adds beauty to the message behind the messenger. And there's no message without a messenger. So if you can't be the messenger and you're afraid of the message, then there's no point in the message. And I feel like I take a stance in a lot of things which are different.
But let me ask you this. Are you keeping track of the dashboard? If you're playing the mysterious, are you keeping track of how many people are looking on your IG stories? Are you keeping track of who's going into your account? And does that make a difference? Like monthly, do you see a change? Do you see growth within the years of you playing that role? Because my only conversation or concern with you will be, like we mentioned earlier, release reels.
Yeah.
Not that you haven't or you can't, but you didn't to a degree of maybe my opinion would be. You feel me? But you have every right to operate the way you see your vision. You know what I mean?
It's funny that you ask that because Mark kind of
What?
he didn't ask the same question earlier, like roughly around like 3:00 today, which is a long time from now for later viewers in time. But he asked the same question earlier today, and my point was that it's not so much of me not like being, what's the word I'm looking for, afraid of releasing reels, but it's more of me just like wanting to maintain that online presence that I build up with the character along with it. Because if you build up an online presence with a certain character and then you disintegrate it to become more of a visual appearance instead of like the mystique that's behind it, it kind of takes away from everything that
you're showing authenticity. But listen to this.
You also don't want to feel like you're selling.
But not only it's not necessarily selling. But what about this? You'll only be seen as far as you allow yourself to be shown. So if you're satisfied with you being seen with the amount of time you're being shown, then that's cool. But if you want to like sell stuff, if you want to like get opportunities, you got to make yourself be seen.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like whether you like it or not, you have to trial and error different things that's happening with life. Like people talk about AI, you either get with it or you get left. You know, people talk about reels, you either get with it or you get left. People talk about podcasting, you either get with it or you get left. But we're in the evolution era. We're in the AI era.
Get right or get left.
I said that too earlier, which was with the AI thing,
I love AI.
You either get right with it or you get left behind.
But that's where we're at. We're in the AI age.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's not.
Remember when there was the industrial age? You either work at those factories or you remain poor. And if you're working at the factories, you get moved into a different neighborhood and you move on up and you take care of your family. With the AI, let's get into AI. That will help a lot of people with the business, right? Or even music. That'll help people with reference and music, creativity, and fun. Mm-hmm. Of course, no matter what you're doing, you got to use your brain. You got to use all parts of your brain, the side of your brain that the majority of people don't use. You got to use that shit. We're co-creators, so we tap into different frequencies, right? We don't allow that to be the decision maker. We don't allow that to, like, you know what I mean, navigate our livelihood. We got to put our smarts, we got to do our research, we got to do our, gather information and see what's right and what's wrong, see what's helpful, and see what's not beneficial. You know what I mean? But we're here right now. So you either get with it or you get left behind. And the ones who want to get left behind will be disgruntled because, of course, God is the greatest and you can be the best, but you're not the best if you're not getting with the times. That's just being straight up. You got to polish yourself. You feel me? You can't keep going traditional route. That's my opinion, and I'll always be authentic, but I'm not going with traditional route because I'm looking at older people moving in the traditional manner, and I'm like, damn, I learned so much, and these people are very grumpy and blah, blah, blah against me, like parents and stuff. Like, you guys are being grumpy and all that shit because you move traditional, and we're not here right now. You're supposed to know how to love. You're supposed to learn how to detach from toxicity. You're supposed to this and that. You can't be acting like the way you lived in 1960s or whatever case. That's how it is. We're in 2026.
From a worldly perspective, opposed to like just a creative perspective. I feel like when it comes to creativity, I'm not gonna judge you if you use this tool. I'm not gonna judge you if you don't use this tool. Now, I would be a hypocrite if I said I didn't use AI for anything because I'll throw my resume through AI in a second.
Yeah, that's what I gotta do too. I gotta update my resume.
I use it for different things, but I just don't use it in this art thing I do.
Because that's sacred to
yeah, I use my brain for that. I use if it was if it's a quantity over quality thing that comes in place, maybe I would consider using AI as a tool if I need to pump out 100 songs in a week.
Do you have GPS in your vehicle when you're riding around
No, I have GPS on my phone.
and you use it?
Of course.
People back in the day were using maps.
Right. Or some people just navigate till they find where the fuck they was going.
Or that too. That's like me. I don't know what street is where. I just know different memorial or certain areas shit
But
that
as long as you get
familiar.
there,
Who
you
cares?
got
how
there.
you
But I'll use the back video
I
to
was a map
reverse
crush guy.
and line up right with the blue lines. I'll use that rather than me looking in my rearview mirrors. I still use my rearview mirrors, but I'm looking at the TV more and more. I'm adapting with the time because it's there to help.
Right.
You know what I mean?
To me, with the AI thing, I think that it's a tool that's so early in its stages that people see it like kind of a nuisance more than anything. And I think that's the perfect time to hop onto a wave. Because
Yeah.
even, for example, something like Bitcoin was a nuisance in like 2013. And now the people who bought however many Bitcoin are now really, really extremely happy that they bought it.
They're up, right?
Because 10 years later, it became 40,000 something dollars more than the price that they bought it for. So it's one of those things where, like, if you use it now, in 10 years from now, you're going to be excited that you bought it. And that's what AI is. It's if you use it in this moment, when people think that it's at its point, people are turned away from it, people are turned off because of it. In 10 years, those people are going to be in the same place, and the people who hopped on it are going to be like, yeah, everyone was laughing then, but look at me now.
It's definitely useful for a lot of things.
Yeah, I could contest, man. I see the evolution of where I was at using my smarts every day, no matter what, with the energy and information. But applying AI, it cuts out 85 to 90% of effort. Still, I put in effort in everything I do, but it saves you. Now, when I got the information I need to move forward business-wise, I'll go do research on that before I make a step. You have to. You feel me? You just can't jump into unknown waters. I know how to swim, but I'll practice how to swim. So yeah, I'll jump into unknown waters from practicing how to swim. I don't just jump in because, okay, I'm ditzy and shit, like, you know what I mean? So I will use shit as assistance, just like, but the most important information that I'll get will be from the higher intelligence. It's important to pray. It's important to pray before you do anything. You wake up and you're about to leave the house to go to work, pray. You about to drive, pray. You about to eat, pray. You gonna use a restroom, pray. You don't mess around and shit a bone, and you gotta go to ER and shit. We're like, you wanna make sure you pray and you're good. You wanna be grateful that we got our limbs and our legs and we could walk in this life. You feel me? That we could do squats, that we could do push-ups, that we could stretch, do jumping jacks. You gotta pray, no matter what you're doing. So it's like, I will always appreciate the temple and the brain and the information and the knowledge that I've attained over the years with the evolution, but allowing the higher intelligence to lead. But whatever's happening right now, like the AI age, I'll incorporate that. You feel me? I've incorporated autotune back in 2007. I've been rocking with autotune since 2007. I remember there was goofy cats complaining about go create a love song, we use autotune, like if that was a joke. Okay, I'll make a song to your bitch, cause she was listening to it, right? Like, but I know how to perfect it, so it works out now. I got clientele. Can you just throw autotune on there? Damn, how you know how to do the autotune? Cause I've been dealing with this for a while, man. It's about to be 20 years off using Innoterra's autotune, the real one. I had it cracked back in the day, and then they got Picture on FL Studio, and we got that too, and we got Ableton and all that shit. But I deal with my favorite DAW. Shout out to Pro Tools. Feel me? Avid Pro Tools. I'd rather deal with that, man, because it's universal. That was the first digital audio workstation before, like after the tapes. they're recording on reels and shit. Feel me? So I've mastered that. To each his own on whatever DAW you want to use, but you know, God allowed music to be a way to make it a career, running a business. But you got to use your mind, you got to use your brain, and you got to have sobriety. And the more sobriety you have the clarity. Right, D1?
I think that the beauty in this all is that, and this is more of a segue than anything. I think that the fact that especially us three and everyone in RZX has been blessed with the opportunity to be artistic in music rather than anything.
Artistic.
Thanks. Is that one of the longest, if not the longest, and most profound parts of the Bible is music. And the most philosophically sound parts of the Bible is the books in which there are plenty of songs. Whether you read Psalms or whether you read the book that's genuinely called Songs is beautiful, because that's a way to articulate your praise, and it's a way to articulate your thanks to the one above who put us in this place and who knew we were going to be in this very place, which is a creative space in order to create these songs.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for that, there's nothing better than God, and there's nothing as good as God. But the closest we can possibly get is finding artistic ways to articulate our praises. And that's why I fell into something that's coming out soon, which I call, personally, From Ashes to Anthems, which is my next upcoming album. And I see that kind of shift occurring within not only RZX, but music itself. And there's something more deep than the mind can even possibly steep to, which is music itself, and the ability to either send praise to God or give thanks to the one below for your ability to articulate.
Give thanks to the one below.
Yeah, because people use music to do that. Think about how music is nowadays.
Like imagery wise, yeah.
They use that.
Everything.
They're crazy.
They don't use it to
Low
like,
vibration.
they don't use it to genuinely say, thank you to the devil, but with the words that they use within their songs, they might as well, because they're creating songs about lust, about destroying families and
What's the
selling
thing about
drugs.
music? Like, who was dealing with music?
In terms,
Didn't they say like music was bad because that was like with incorporated with the fallen angel or something?
well, if you read Psalms, David, who is one of the main figures of Psalms in the Bible, has the most songs within the earliest of that book. So, like, yes, it can be used either way. There's
I'd rather use it as praise and enlightenment.
there's no discrepancy in between how you can use songs, but how you use songs is more valuable than how it can be used. You know what I mean? It's more of a personal thing than an overall thing. And there's plenty of ways in which people use music. If you go on the top 40 of today, most of the songs you listen to
Secular.
are secular and sinful. But there's a way in
That's
which
the industry.
and that's the way in which artists like us here at RZX can make that change. And I think that what we're doing right now is further beyond what we even realize in this moment, because God knew we were going to do this.
And God is allowing it. That's the beauty of it. Like how I would decipher then RZX, that's short for resurrection. You know what the word resurrection means? Feel me? I'm online using emojis. What emojis I'm going to use? An infinite sign and a rose. You know what that means? On the side of resurrection. And I thank God every day that we're able to learn who we are through Him. You feel me? Not being preachy, not being peachy, not being Mr. Buttersoft, just being authentic, being original, being a man of faith. The faith in the unseen, you know what I mean? Like, of course, we all came from sin, right? We're born sinners.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is to learn who you are, character build, spiritual heal. And when we're involved with this music, this is a career for a lot of us. Right? We know each other single digits. We do this for real, like performing, song writing, music production, vocal production, anything. We do this for real. And I thank the Lord that we're allowed to do this.
Yeah, it's everything.
And the way in which we can change the world because of that fact is more beautiful than the fact that we can change the world.
Right.
The way that we can change the world is more powerful than the fact that we can change the world.
Not only that, we're creating our own ecosystem, man. If I evaluate my whole life the past few years and all of us involved as a collective, we've been creating our own ecosystem.
Yeah.
Whether it's like locally, whether it's nationally, whether it's America bound.
It's becoming national.
Yeah. But like we went from music creating to music business. And we're dabbling with the music industry. Now you know what it is when there's people in the music industry and they got rituals and they got certain things where they're forced. But we don't gotta align ourselves with that. You could be brush your shoulders with that shit, but you gotta learn what's what. You gotta learn what is best to benefit all of us. You know what I mean? In our career path, in our opportunities, and just in our co-creating process. I have 8-9 realizations in the bottom of Santa Monica Pier. You know, looking at the waves crashing, or looking at the what are those called? The poles, holding up the pier, looking at the water. You know what I mean? Like I was like, damn, thinking about this, I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that. And when I was walking out of there, I was like, damn, I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna tighten up. You feel me? I'm grateful for my awareness. You know what I mean? Like
the ability to even be able to be in the position to experience it.
The ability to be able to be in the position to experience it. Straight up. Like, that's the beauty of life.
I think to add on to the beauty of life, another thing is, you know, to your point, we're all born sinners. Once we grow,
I disagree with that. I'll say.
Once we grow, we get to a point where it's our choice.
We're born out of wedlock and all that shit. Whatever that means, you know what I mean? Like,
at that point, after a point when we grow up, it's our choice to continue to be sinners. And it's also our choice to continue to be disciples. Or not continue, but to change the fact that we were sinners and become disciples. And that's something that's more valuable than, because I said share.stream earlier on this interview or podcast, it's more valuable than the percentage we're getting paid off of share.stream, and the percentage that the viewer listening right now will get paid based off of our work on share.stream.
And big shout out to Brandon Torrey for making that possible for share.stream. And a big shout out to Malik Youssef and the Bad Kids class.
Bad Kids class?
For, you know what I mean, sharing that information.
It's our mentor.
Much love, much respect. Bad Kids class. You know, I'm a representative. You know what I mean? And I get put on.
But one thing more valuable
Bad Kids.
One more thing valuable than either of those things is the fact that one man sent by God chose to die for every mistake that you were going to make. Whether it was the day that you were born or the day that you fall and end up in heaven. Those sins have already been paid for without anything that you could do. You could find the cure to cancer. You could find genuine peace in your own existence. You can find peace for other people's existence. And none of those things matter because one person, Jesus Christ, lived and died and paid for it already.
Timothy.
And the fact that we can actually make more than a penny, less than a penny, off of stream and feed our families is less valuable than the fact that someone already paid for every single mistake that was going to be made. Because it was already known. It was already written that mistake was going to be made. There's nothing you can do to throw off the course of your own existence. There's nothing you can do to throw off the course of your own book in life, which wasn't paid for already. So 60 cents a stream is nothing. It's just beneficial to the fact that we can use it to promote that message and use it to promote growth within humanity. And that's a beauty in itself, promoting growth in humanity and beating monopolies which exist within the realms that we operate in, which is music. Because there is a genuine monopoly. And everything that we're doing in this very moment until Lord knows when is there's nothing that can equate to the fact that every mistake we've ever made has been paid for. No matter if it's 60 cents a stream, no matter if it's 20 cents a stream, even if it's 0.00007th of a penny for a stream.
I'm good with that. Spotify, I love y'all. Tidal, I love y'all, but nah. I'm good with share that stream.
It's over. It's over.
You know?
Maybe YouTube, but yeah, it's a share that stream thing.
It's a share that stream thing, man, for real.
And no matter what we do, there's no number value on the fact that somebody already has made up for every mistake you were going to make because it was known before you were known. And there's nothing more valuable that definitely 20 cents a stream is not more valuable. The only part that's valuable in that is the fact that we get to promote that message.
The true word, yeah.
And do that. And that's what's going to happen here in RZX. No matter what has to happen to make that occur, it's going to happen.
Not only that, I strongly promote own your IP. That's important, man. Own your IP. Stand for something or fall for everything. You feel me? I follow the lead of Jesus Christ, and I also follow the lead of RIP by my dad, who wasn't in my life, and I was the opposite. But it got me to where I'm at. You know what I mean? And when he transitioned into heaven, for sure, even though he did bad, he passed away in prayer and kneeling, praying. You feel me? I was able to realize that everything that he did, I was able to do the opposite, and it got me to be in positions of where I'm secure and set and repair my DNA and operate and execute and in an intelligent manner and make sure I move with Christ-like lens. I see with Christ-like lens. Even down to the fucking brand. Resurrection Studio. Even down to the name, T.ReMMeDY, what the T stand for. You know what I mean? Even down to the name, Zen Rem. R.I.P. my baby boy, Zen. He's sitting on the throne in the kingdom of heaven. You feel me? When you go through trials, when you go through stuff in life, you get to look at, like, life is fragile, and you get to look at, like, what are you here and what's your purpose? Take heed and move. Stop being afraid. You feel me? Know who you are every day, though. That's important. So with the music, you know, with the family, with the people you keep around you, your loved ones, you want to operate on high frequency. You feel me? And there's no time to waste because, again, life is fragile. You know what I mean? And resurrection, that's what we represent, resurrection. You know what I mean? Shall we rise? The spirit, the power, the honor, the glory, all to God. Simple.
Treat every day like you're born again that day. Every day is a new day. Every day you're a new version of yourself.
Straight up. Renewed mind, strengthened heart, daily, just like an infant. Use your imagination. We're co-creators. Use your imagination, man. Write a book. Do a podcast. Do a audio book or whatever. Like, do music. Spread the true word. You know what I mean? Don't be out here lost and trying to be following people who don't even know where they're going. Maybe we've gone through that when we were younger, but we're solidified, dude. You got to get right, do right, stay focused. Like I always said, be hyper-focused.
There's a story I want to share that isn't really particularly based on any subject that we've touched upon so far, but it's just to give perspective. And that story is in any of the books of the New Testament, if you haven't read it. And that's the story and very short excerpt of a lot of the books in there of Peter walking on water toward Jesus. And they were in a storm. Jesus was walking on water, which is a famous story. A lot of people make jokes about it. A lot of people act like it's just some mythology part of the Bible in order to keep people entertained. But the story is that not only did Jesus walk on water, but Peter did as well. And the only time that Peter sunk underwater was when he took his eyes off of God. And I think that's beautiful because it shows in a lot of people's life that they do the same exact thing. We're called to be disciples. We're not called to be Christians. We're called to be followers of the way. We're not called to be Christians.
Yeah.
So the way to do that is not to do anything that you can possibly do. No matter what it is, no matter what good work you can do, there's no way that you can possibly do that on your own because there's already a template for it. And that template suffered one of the most brutal deaths in history. Like, think about a way of dying, and that way is probably worse. And that's the way that Jesus Christ died. And Peter was walking on water in a storm.
My boy dirty.
Yeah. Jesus is walking on water in a storm. And Jesus says, just focus on me, and you're going to make it to me. Just keep your focus on me. And the storm's going. The waves are crashing. It's going crazy in the weather. There's nothing you can do to control it. But the difference is that Peter looked away because he got afraid of what was going on around him, whether it was the waves crashing or the storm occurring. He looked away, and that was the very moment that he sunk. If he never looked away, he would have never sunk. And while you can use that to say, well, my eyes are on him, if your heart isn't, it doesn't really matter.
100%.
You need to find a way to place your heart. And if your eyes are focused on God, everything is going to work out.
Amen.
And that's the beauty in resurrection.
Amen.
Because our eyes here are focused on that. Whether we may say things in our daily life which are crazy, whether we may do things in our daily life which are crazy, our eyes are always focused on one way, which is forward. And in our case, which is upward, which is the way of God.
The truth, the way, the life.
So keep your eyes focused on God and follow the truth, the way, the life, and you will meet the Father one day. And that is our goal here at Resurrection, to change this music landscape, which is sinful, to change this music landscape, which is, and I'm going to say it, evil, to change this music landscape, which is secular. And no matter what we say in our songs, the personality, which is the people within RZX, is going to keep our eyes focused on God. And that is how we are going to walk on water towards him and show you the way in which you can follow him and appreciate everything he already did for you, instead of joking and laughing. And that's what Resurrection and Cloud Lounge within itself is all about.
True word.
Not saying we're not gonna make music for the hoes though, because we still gonna make music for the hoes.
304s. You should say it right after that spill. You gotta say 304s. It just shows you we're human. It shows you where we come from.
It's duality, man.
The duality is all about balance. Of course, you can be hyper focused, but you still gotta step back and balance out the rest of your life, and then get back to hyper focus.
We don't have that working for Jesus.
Get back to your purpose zone.
Get back in our purpose zone and shall we rise? Because energy be shifting. Just take your time. We outgrow in different seasons. And simmer down with emotional base and ego base personas, man. Like, just get right and move right. You know what I mean? Like, move in spirit. But that's our time for tonight, man. We're cool, man. This is a wonderful live stream. We recorded 2 tracks earlier today. They did 2 tracks earlier before that. That's 4 tracks total for these guys. Salute to these guys, Marlon, Jerome, and D1. They both got music on Share.Stream, by the way. Share.Stream. Check that out. Free stream. Play our songs 5 times each.
Please.
Show us love. Check out our social media. You know what I mean? RZX Mar. D1 Music with a Z and a K on IG. You know, T.ReMMeDY _RZX on IG or Meta. ZenRem RZX.
You can find us everywhere, man.
And cheers.
Cheers to that. I just ate the Nutella bag. You know what I mean? Power Rangers. God is the greatest. I'm the best. So are you.
Heaven, yes.
PCs.